And today, Kim Emerson, a legislative reporter from Omni BC here in studio. The race for the May 14th decision. We've got the debate on Monday. Lots to talk about with you. So let's dive right in here. Christy Clark, coming after the NDP, criticizing the fundraising initiatives that are going on with the fundraising letters. What's your take on Adrian Dix's perspective on how he's approaching the business community?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, they sent out a fundraising letter, and the Liberals want the head of the NDP fired for sending out the fundraising letter, which is a bit rich on their part. But what you have to realize is, was it cheeky on the part of the NDP to do that? Absolutely. Was it hypocritical on the part of the NDP to do that? Absolutely. But was it wrong? No, because that's public information. You can go and get the information on who donated to whose campaign and how much. If you decide you want to send them a letter and say, hey, donate to the Riaz campaign, go ahead and do that. Is it the right thing to do? Maybe not necessarily, but you can do that, and that's what they've done. And then the Liberals, they got kind of caught flat-footed on it, so then they start jumping up, they get up on their hind legs and start screaming and yelling, fire them, that's wrong, you can't do that, you can't come after our supporters. Why not?
It's political strategy in play, and you know, we're seeing two very different campaigns. One where a lot of spending initiatives are being presented by the NDP and Adrian Dix, and two, on the other hand, we're seeing a lot of appearances by Christy Clark and a lot of attacks on, you know, the direction the NDP could go and the money that's being spent. What's your take on what we're seeing now that the writ's been dropped and the campaigning is in full force?
Well, you've got a couple, as you point out very aptly, that you've got two distinctly different ways to go. But you and I, or sorry, Jody and I talked about this, I think last week or the week before. Christy unveiled her plan on the Monday before the election started. Once you've given out all of your information, what do you got left to say? Nothing. You just keep reiterating the same message over and over and over. And that's what she's doing. The best she's got to do right now is she reacts to whatever Adrian's doing. And why is she doing that? Because they didn't lay out their platform ahead of time. They're providing news to the news cycle. Here's something new for you to digest. So that's what he's doing, and that results in spending. The Liberals outlined their spending at the beginning. The other interesting part of that is Christy talks about everything that goes into healthcare is an investment. When the NDP does it, it's the spendometer's going up. Now, it's kind of silly season now because you got the spendometer, the Liberals adding up everything that Adrian's promising. And is it accurate? Not necessarily. Probably the same people that were a few years ago counting fish for DFO are now adding up the numbers there. Christie's got a problem of her own in that she says that the budget is balanced. Nobody says it is, except for her. She says that they're going to pay down the debt, yet the debt's rising at a faster rate than ever in history under her party. And she says that the bond rating agencies agree with her, and they don't. So you've got a couple of funny things going on, so that the NDP says to the Liberals, well, you're the say anything party.
Well, you know, the great thing about all of this are the questions that are being raised. You have Adrian Dix coming out and saying, here's what I'm going to do, and you see a stance on the platform. And then the important questions from Christy Clark's side saying, well, where's the money going to come from? And that's all going to lead into an all-party leader debate we're going to see Monday night here on City. What do you think is the best strategy, and who's got the most to win, most to lose out of this debate?
Well, I think everybody's already lost in a way, because I don't think anybody's found a way to engage the public. The public just really is not resonating with anything that any of the leaders are saying. Christy Clark's got a plan to go forward on debt and deficit. Public really doesn't care about that. Adrian's going ahead with a plan on education and health care. Public cares more about that by 2 to 1 than they do about debt and deficit. So has he got a better strategy? Not necessarily, but when we see the leaders debate, you know that she's going to be trying to attack him and him alone, because he's the one right now that is poised to become the premier and to be the leader. So you'll see her going after him. But I think what's really interesting about the debate, and I'm kind of excited about it, is I think there's going to be some entertainment value there, because they're going to get to go back and forth at each other, not just sit there and talk to a moderator who's going to ask them a question. They get to actually go back and forth at each other, and that's when it becomes a lot more fun.
Well, we're going to get to see that live right here on City, 6:30 p.m. Monday night. You can watch that debate here. News 1130's got you covered as well, and we want your feedback. Your questions could be asked by moderator Jennifer Burke. Comments at btvancouver.ca. Email us your questions, and hopefully you can be included in on the discussion. I know you're going to have that covered week to week, especially here on BT. So thanks for coming in and doing this.